Okay guys, so I'm going to show you why I think it's very possible. Now of course anything is possible. I'm just going to show you why the charts show me it's likely over the next month we're going to drop at least 10,000 before the final plunge, and I'll show you what's going to cause that final plunge. So before we go through this chart, I'm also going to cover some previous calls from the last video, just price targets. The charts we're covering today, referenced in the previous video, is going to be the C1 chart, the H1 chart right down here. We're going to cover the G1, the J1, and the E1 chart. We're also going to be covering some stocks charts for the Dow. That will be the Dow Jones Original and the Dow Jones Crash Rings. Those charts we're going to cover today. If you do want to access these charts, guys, the website's optimalcrypto.com. Link will be pinned to the first comment in the description if you want to subscribe. $39 a month gives you access to Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, Discord and Twitter. Stocks and tutorials are separate. Interested in lifetime content, via the contact page. So this was yesterday's video. I'll put a link under this now if you want to check it out. I was giving you some price targets. Notice this line down here. I said, we topped out at this point. So your next support is around 48,232 to potentially 47,963. Take note of these two white lines below. So this is a chart. Notice we came down. We found support right here at 48,267. We did drop below a bit, but it looks like our current support right now is around 48,335. Just so you can see again, that these two lines right here, that is where we held support and pushed back up. At the end of this video, I will give you price targets for these charts, your smaller price targets. This was the same video. I was referencing the C1 chart. Notice I said right here, your next support is going to be around 47,749. You can see we found perfect support right here, literally to the tick. Right here, 47,775. So your current support to watch right now is 47,993. We'll come back to these two charts in this video. I want to show you why I think it's very possible that, again, over the next month, we could drop at least 10,000. And then I think after that point, we could have a more substantial drop, which I'm calling the final plunge. But let me show you why I believe this is the case. So if you notice, we're in this pattern right here. Notice we pushed up, found resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, got topped out at this white line right here. So I think this is playing out identical to what happened over here. So let me draw this right here. So this was our resistance right here, right? And this was our support right here. Let me get rid of that. So we were moving up this, we caught in this rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. But the same thing played out. We pushed up, resistance, support, resistance up this white ring, resistance, support. We found support on this orange ring. We pushed up, we topped out. Now I do have a chart. That's why I have the E1 chart I'm going to show you in a bit where we topped out here. This is where I was able to call the top 65K. But I just want to show you that it looks like, notice that we broke down from this pattern. We rode right down this orange ring. Support, 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 right on the white ring as well. Support, broke down, came back up as resistance, 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 support, resistance, support, support. And notice where we bottomed. We rode right down this orange ring, and we bottomed right where this white ring and this orange ring intersect. I think that's the same thing that's going to play out right here, right where this white ring and this yellow ring intersect. And just so you know, this is the same fib circle. This orange ring and this yellow ring, if I move this fib circle, you see how they move together? And this white ring, this is all the same fib circle right here. So I think the same thing is going to play out. Just like played out here, we move down this orange ring to this point. I think over the next month, we're going to move down this yellow ring. It's either going to be support, probably drop below as resistance, maybe come up as support, but I think we will bottom at this point. So over the next month, I expect us to come down to potentially, we're going to drop potentially 10,000. And at this point, either we push up or we go sideways. I think this is when the final plunge is going to happen. This will be around October 1st through potentially November 1st. I think it'll probably initiate October 1st. This goes along with the stocks chart. But I want to show you that I do think this is a case. Again, this is not financial advice. I think that it's likely. It just looks like it's playing out the same. If you look at the MACD, I noticed back here at our highest point, well, right here, notice the MACD was starting to come down. You can see the MACD is way overextended up here. Back here it was around 3,000. Right now we're at 2,600, and it looks like it's starting to angle down. So notice the MACD was coming down as we rode. Well, it came way down here. came all the way down to this point as we rode down this orange ring. I think the same thing is playing out. The MACD is going to start coming down as we ride down this yellow ring to bottom right here. So again, that's why I think it's likely over the next month we will drop around 10,000. So let me explain why I think the final plunge will be around October 1st. By the way, guys, this chart here, take note this white ring where we topped out and we're currently topped out. I'm just going to show you this published version. If you'll see, this is white ring right here. If I hit play, let me zoom in on it so you can see it. And this was resistance, and we got topped out right here. That's this white ring right here. If I can get my mouse on it. That's the exact same white ring. Let me get rid of these squiggly so you can see it. So again, white ring pushed above the support and got topped out here. And that is the same white ring right here. This is published on December 14, 2020. And also, so this chart right here, this white ring was where I'm going to show you the J1 chart. This is why I think this is where we're topped out. And this is why I have this line drawn here. So I do think we're probably going to start heading down. These are bearish patterns, by the way. If we do push above this, then hey, that's negated. Maybe we're going to go higher. But if we are topped out and we start moving down that yellow ring, we could come down as low as, potentially find support somewhere around here. This is the point I think we're going to break down from this. I expect the markets to have a major correction at this point. Again, that's from October 1st. Do pay attention. I do think we will bottom on wherever the 200 weekly moving average is. If we break below that, I think wherever the 300 weekly moving average is where we will bottom. So that's where you want to buy in. Notice back here on December in 2018, we bottomed on the 200 weekly, and it was in 2020 we bottomed on the 300 weekly. So I think these are likely points to bottom if we break down from this pattern. But just like you can see here, if this would be a bearish pattern, just like back here in 2019, this support, resistance, support, but below it we had a fake out crash. This was 2017, resistance, support, resistance, had a crash. The same thing happened back in 2013. You got caught in this descending triangle, resistance, support, but below was resistance and had a crash. So I think that is the same thing playing out. I think October 1st is when the actual final plunge is going to happen. Remember, I'm expecting over the next month we'll drop around 10,000, and then on October 1st, I'm expecting that major drop. This here is the E1 chart. So this right here is what I was referring to. Notice this pattern we were in. And again, these are almost identical. Resistance, support, resistance, support. We pushed up, resistance, support, resistance. So again, I think it's identical. Also looking at the MACD, but notice we topped out here. Typically we should have gone resistance, support, resistance, support. We should have pushed up and tested the top of this before we continue down or breaking to the upside. That's not what happened. We actually topped out right here, and that's where the E1 chart comes in. If you'll notice, that's this chart right here. We topped out right at this ring. This ring right here. We should have pushed back up to this point. We didn't. I said once we touch this ring, it's likely from this point would be a top before we start dropping. And this is another version of that other chart. This is the same orange ring and the same yellow ring. But just want to show you that this is a published version of this chart. So you can see here, this orange ring right here is this orange ring right here. So notice we'll push up, we'll make contact with the orange ring, ride down the white ring, find support right here where these two intersect. Again, this is published on November 14, 2020. We pushed all, we got rejected here a little bit, this orange ring got rejected. This was the top, literally to the tick. Found support here, pushed back up, found support, and pushed up again. So again, I do think it's possible we're topped out to come down. We'll have to see how this plays out. So the final plunge, guys. So again, what I'm saying is by October 1st, you say, well, how do you know we'll have a plunge at this point? Look, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of people are expecting the stock market to have a crash at some point. Nobody knows when it's going to happen. You've got a semiconductor shortage. You've got, I think the shortage is on aluminum, so they can't even make aluminum cans for food. You've got food shortages. You've got container ships. There's a shortage of containers. Some port in China, I think, is overwhelmed with Delta variant, so they closed down a port. So there's supplies. There's a supply shortage. And this is actually causing inflation. Prices of things are going up because it's hard to get them shipped and delivered. So with all the things going on, it just seems like this is going to be the point when we have a major correction. And you say, well, how the hell would you know that? Well, guys, this is a ring chart. I'm basing the size of the correction by how bad things are. I do believe we'll get a correction here. How much of a correction we'll have to see, but I just think, again, with the way things are, I think we'll get a major correction at this point. I showed you this before, guys. You notice we hit this green ring, we get rejected, rejected. At this green ring, we got rejected, came down. This green ring, we got rejected, came down. This is when we had our COVID crash. Notice we found support on this green ring. This next green ring, we got rejected. We're coming up on the next green ring, guys. This would be October 1st. And this right here will be November 1st. That's what I'm saying. Between October 1st and November 1st, I believe we're going to have one hell of a correction. With everything that's going on, I think it's going to be a pretty substantial drop. Once we hit this point, I'm going to be shorting everything. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, because I believe at this point, this is when it's all going to come down. And again, I'm trying to make this very clear. You can see every time I hit a green ring, rejected, rejected, rejected. When we hit this point, I'm expecting one hell of a correction. So as I'm saying, that will be the final plunge. while we'll move down this over the next month, potentially to put in our bottom here. Again, around October 1st, that's when I expect the markets to have that major correction. That's what I'm saying, that will be the final plunge. So whatever price of Bitcoin is at the time, around October 1st, that's when I expect it to drop a lot lower. And I do have this price targets on these charts. This is the Dow Jones original chart. This is one I used to predict the last crash back here before COVID happened. And if you'll notice, there is a red ring here. This red ring is all the same Fib circle right here. You'll notice that right here we crossed the ring, we had a drop. We had a drop right here. This one we pushed up and had a drop. It just so happens, October 1st is right here. This is November 1st, the apex is right here. So even if we push up, I think this is the point we'll get topped out, and then potentially we'll start coming down from this point. That plays right along with this chart as well. So that's two charts in confluence with a potential drop. We know every time we hit a green ring, the Dow Jones it gets a correction. I think we get a major correction at this point, and it's also in confluence with this chart here. Keep in mind, this chart is the same chart I've used to predict the last crash. This was published on January 7th, 2020. The targets that I was expecting was around 27,467 to 26,227. When we crashed way down below that. We bottomed on this ring. And this chart was good for finding support and resistance levels. Notice we found perfect rejection here. Notice that, let me play this out a bit. Notice right here, the green ring was resistance, support, resistance, support. And you can see we hit this point, we got a pump up, and this is currently where we're at. Let me play it out here. So this right here, let me get rid of some of this. So you can see this right here, this red ring right here is this white ring right here, and this orange ring is this white ring right here. So again, just showing you this chart is in confluence. This chart is in confluence, the timing with this chart. And again, I just showed you green ring drop, green ring drop, green ring drop, green ring. I think we're going to have a substantial correction. I think that's when all the markets are going to be coming down. So again, just to recap before I give you some price targets, I do believe over the next month we're going to ride down this orange ring, potentially bottom at this point. And this will be around the 22nd of September 2021. And then I think at this point, this is when we have that major drop. So let me give you some price targets, guys. So currently, you can see our support right now is, this is the H1 chart, by the way, 48,342. Your next support just below is going to be around 48,115. If we do break below that, your next support level, major support level to watch is 46,433. If we push up, your next resistance to watch is around 49,195. Push above that, your next resistance is around 50,169. Keep in mind these are upward angle. Depending when you make contact, the further out, the higher price. The C1 chart, and again, you can see we found perfect support down here. So currently your support is around 48,000. If we push above that, your next major resistance is 49,596. Your next very strong resistance above is going to be around 51,735. And your next major support level on the C1 chart is around 46,216. I do have a lot of altcoin charts. I will go over these in the next video. I just wanted to get this up really quick. If I click on Access Charts and go into altcoins, so these are all the updated charts: Theta, Matic, Binance Coin, BCH, Ethereum, Litecoin. I haven't updated XRP yet. XLM's updated, Cardano, Chainlink, Tezos, BSV, Comp, VeChain, all the ones that say 8/22/21 are the updated charts. Polkadot's been updated, Wi-Fi, DeFi. So there's only like 6 that haven't been updated yet. I'll update those soon, as well as the stocks. But again, guys, if you want to access these charts, the website is optimarkcrypto.com. Link will be pinned in the first comment in the description. $39 a month gets you access to Bitcoin, altcoins, precious metals, Discord, and Twitter. Stocks and tutorials are separate. If you're interested in lifetime, contact me through the contact page. Guys, that's it. Till the next video, let me know what you think in the comments. If you think it's possible over the next month we drop 10,000 and then have a crash, or if you think this just seems totally ludicrous. That's it, guys. I'm out.